and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reacting to and breaking down the Secret of NIMH, which came out in 1982. Now, in full disclosure, I had seen this before, although until the movie reached a certain point, I started thinking maybe I was thinking of the wrong movie because I didn't remember a damn thing that happened in this movie. I remembered one part, and when we get there, I'll let you know. But like, yeah, this movie was a good movie, and it's not at all what I thought it was. Anyways, there is a message to this movie, although it is definitely a kids movie. The themes are very mature. Let's just jump right into the movie. So we begin by meeting Mrs. Brisby, who is a widowed field mouse. Now, this is a child's movie. It's all animals. I should have mentioned that. It's all animals. A widowed field mice who lives in a cinder block with her children on a farm owned by the Fitzgibbons family. Okay. She intends to move her family out of the field as plowing season is about to start. Okay. But her son Timothy has fallen very ill, making it impossible for him to travel. Mrs. Bisbee visits Mr. Ages, a friend of her late husband, Jonathan, who tells her that her son has pneumonia, right? She knows that the boy is sick, but she doesn't know what it is that he has. How bad is it, right? And how do I treat it? She says he's got a fever, he's got the chills, like all this stuff, right? And Mr. Ages says, yeah, the boy has pneumonia. And he gives her medicine and warns that Timothy must stay inside for at least 3 weeks to recover. He is not to go outside. If he catches a chill, he could die. It's pneumonia. On her way home, Mrs. Brisby befriends Jeremy, a clumsy but lovable crow. And it's the crow that I remembered. So she meets the crow shortly after that, they narrowly escape the Fitzgibbons cat Dragon. Listen, the next time I get a cat, or a dog for that matter, I'm naming that son of a bitch Dragon. What a great name for any animal, as far as that's just great. The next morning, she discovers that the plowing has already begun. They wake up to the grumbling and groaning of the earth shaking and everything as the farmers like starting up the tractors and everything, right? It must be terrifying. Like, could you imagine being like a rabbit or something, just living your rabbit life, you know? And I mean, you got enough to worry about. You're a rabbit, right? You're forever in fight or flight anyway. And all of a sudden you're in your burrow and your whole world literally starts shaking. Like, Jesus Christ. Although her neighbor, Auntie Shrew, helps to disable the tractor, Brisby realizes that she needs a better plan. Jeremy then takes her to meet the Great Owl, who at first rejects her, just tells her to fuck off, right? Upon learning that she is Jonathan Brisby's widow, tells her to visit a colony of rats living beneath a rose bush on the farm and seek out Nicodemus. That's how you pronounce it, Nicodemus. Their wise and mystical leader. Mrs. Brisby enters the rose bush and encounters an aggressive guard rat named Brutus, who chases her away. Like, I mean, like, not just chases her away. I mean, like, he's, like, fully armed with, like, a big fucking spear. And, like, yeah, I mean, he tries to kill her. He's not just chasing her away, he's actively trying to end her. She is led back by Ages and is amazed to see the rats' use of electricity and other technology. So, like, they've got like their whole underground thing literally completely wired. They are somehow funneling electricity from the farmhouse to their underground tunnels and stuff. Like, they're stealing electricity from the farmers. It's great. Mrs. Brisby meets Justin, the friendly captain of the guard. Jenner, a ruthless and power-hungry member, opposed to Nicodemus. And finally, she meets Nicodemus himself. From Nicodemus, she learns that many years ago, the rats, along with her husband and Ages, were part of a series of experiments at the National Institute of Mental Health, or NIMH for short. The experiments gave them human-like intelligence, enabling them to escape, as well as expanding their lifespans, or extending their lifespans. So they age a lot slower than other rats, and I think it was like a few mice. Like, Jonathan was a mouse, right? Mainly rats, and there was like a handful of mice that were taken for these experiments. And it was Jonathan who was able to read the signs on how to work the cages. So like lift and whatever to unlock the cages. And he's the one that kind of freed everybody. They are unable to live as typical rats would, however, and need technology to survive, which they can only get by stealing, placing them at great risk of discovery from man, right? To avoid being at the mercy of mankind again, the rats have collectively decided to leave the farm and live independently in an area they refer to as Thorn Valley. Nicodemus then gives Mrs. Brisby a magical amulet that will activate when the wearer is courageous. Meanwhile, Jenner, who wishes for the rats to remain in the rose bush, plots to eliminate Nicodemus. Out of respect for Jonathan, the rats agree to help her move her home. First, they need to drug dragons so it can be done without interference. Only Mrs. Brisby can do this, as the rats cannot fit through the hole leading into the house. Jonathan was killed by dragon in a previous attempt, while Ages had broken his leg in another attempt. This last attempt, Ages broke his leg. That night, she puts the drug into Dragon's dish, but the Fitzgibbons' son catches her. While trapped in a bird cage, she overhears a telephone conversation between Mr. Fitzgibbons, right, the father, and the staff of NIMH, and learns that the Institute intends to exterminate the rats in the morning. Mrs. Brisby then escapes from the cage and runs off to warn them. As a thunderstorm approaches, the rats begin moving the Brisby home with the children and Auntie Shrew inside, using a rope and pulley system. Jenner sabotages the assembly, causing it to fall apart and crashes onto Nicodemus, ending him. Mrs. Brisby soon arrives to warn the rats about NIMH's arrival, but Jenner attacks her and attempts to steal the amulet. As his reluctant compliance Sullivan alerts Justin, who comes to Mrs. Brisby's aid. Jenner mortally wounds Sullivan and engages Justin in a sword fight, but is killed by a knife in the back from the dying Sullivan. Sullivan never wanted any part of this coup, right? He's the one that Jenner sort of took aside and said, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it. And he was like, And Jenner wasn't having it. He's like, no. You are knee deep in this, my guy. You are helping me. We are doing this. This is happening. We are not leaving. We are staying hither, right? That's it. Well, he was fighting with Mrs. Brigsby and Jeremy, or not Jeremy, Jeremy's the bird. Who's the other? Justin. He swipes his sword at Sullivan. Getting everybody's names confused now. There's too many names going on. And, wounds him in the body. And his last move to help Justin is to throw his dagger and hit his mark, right? Which he does. The Brigsby home begins to sink into the muddy ground, and Mrs. Brigsby and the rats are unable to raise it. All appears lost until Mrs. Brigsby's will to save her family suddenly gives power to the amulet, which she uses to lift the house and move it to safety. The next day, the rats, with Justin as their new leader, have departed for Thorn Valley. As Timothy begins to recover, while Jeremy meets and falls in love with an equally clumsy female crow. And they all live happily ever after. Now, that's the movie. The part that I recognized in this, I'll try to put a clip in here, was specifically a part where Jeremy meets up with Mrs. Brigsby and sees that she's got the amulet, right? He's like, oh, you have a sparkly. I like sparklies. And he tries so hard to talk her into giving him the sparkly.
Ooh, a sparkly. What? You're wearing a sparkly. Can I? Oh, please, can I?
Jeremy, listen.
Giving him the sparkly. That is the part I remember, and that is the part me and my bestie back in the day used to quote that all the time. All because, I mean, we were girls. We were distracted by shiny, sparkly things. Right? And that was just like the best fucking line in a movie we'd ever heard in our lives. That is what I remember. Just like, it's the right movie. We're good. We're on track. It's fine. And it's like almost at the end of the goddamn movie. This movie was so good. And it does have the whole, thing about animal labs and all that kind of stuff, right? Which was kind of a thing in the 80s. I mean, it was a big thing in the 80s. It was a big deal. And there were a lot of kids movies that were done in that vein. It's like the whole deforestation thing and I think that was it was another animated movie. It had Christian Slater in it. And Robin Williams plays Batty. Oh my God. I'll put it in somewhere. I can't think of the name of it right now, but that was another one, right? All these big things that were, I mean, they're still kind of a big deal. I don't think that the animal testing thing is as big a deal now as it was like in the 80s and 90s, but yeah, all that kind of stuff. This was really, really good. I miss these old school cartoon type movies. They're just, a lot of the scenes don't even look like drawn. They're paintings, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I really did. This was so good. But I want to talk about the cast and stuff because this to me is absolutely fascinating. So I didn't know until I started digging into the movie a bit, because I did a little digging tonight. NIMH, I didn't know that NIMH stood for National Institute of Mental Health. Considering that we're talking about the 80s, yeah, okay. It was an animal testing facility, but I guess it was testing for mental health therapies, like pharmaceuticals and stuff. Yeah, I just I found that very interesting. As far as our cast, we have a great cast. We have Dom DeLuise, who, listen, when I think of Dom DeLuise, I think of Haunted Honeymoon, which I had to Google around to find because I could not for love or money remember the proper name of the movie. I knew it was Haunted something or another, and I remember Gene Wilder being in it. Haunted Honeymoon is a fantastic movie, and I don't remember much of it, except that it was, like, I remember it being funny. It tickled me. It made me laugh. It was funny. I remember Don DeLuise being in drag, and it was an insane fucking movie. That was Don DeLuise, Gene Wilder, and Gilda Radner. Like, in 1986. That was a great movie. And if anybody is interested in me doing a video for that, let me know, because I would be totally down for that. But he did other things. He did a lot of Mel Brooks movies. He worked a lot with Gene Wilder. He worked a lot with... I can't remember his name now. He was in Smokey and the Bandit. Oh, yeah. Burt Reynolds. I know if I start scrolling and looking around, something will jump out at me. Yeah, worked a lot with Burt Reynolds. He did, what do I have written here? He did off-Broadway work in the 60s. I did not know that. I know him as like a comedian, actor sort of deal. So to find him in off-Broadway was fascinating to me. He did movies like Cannonball Run 1 and 2. He did Smokey and the Bandit 2. The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. I've only ever seen that in bits and pieces with, I believe, Dolly Parton's in that. The Secret of NIMH, of course. American Tail. I remember seeing that in the theater, and I was the oldest young person in there because I was like grade 7 or something, I think, when that came out. I was sitting there with all the adults crying as the kids are looking at us like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It was so sad. Fievel. Oh, it was a great movie. He did La 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 la. He did. Where is it? All Dogs Go to Heaven. That was another one that made me cry. Oh my God. He's done a lot. He worked a lot with Mel Brooks, as I said. He did Blazing Saddles. That movie could never be made today. It was fantastic. It makes fun of everyone. He did Spaceballs. And I can't picture him in anything, but apparently he was in Spaceballs. And he was in Robin Hood Men in Tights. And I don't remember that either. All I remember is Buddy from The Princess Bride and that. But it was funny. Mel Brooks was a genius. Oh my God, he was great. So that's Dom DeLuise. Then we have John Carradine, who we saw last week in the Monsters Club. He was the voice of the Great Owl. Dom DeLuise, like I said, he was Jeremy. He was the Crow. Shannon Doherty was in this, and I did not recognize her voice, but she was Teresa Bisbee, which is the older sister mouse. And then we have Will Wheaton, who was the brother mouse. Shannon Doherty, of course, everybody knows from 90210. Even I watched that damn show, and I mean, I would never have told anybody back in the day because, you know, reputation and all. But you best trust and believe I watched that show every friggin' week it was on. Yes, I did. Yep. And of course, Charmed. I own every episode of Charmed. I will never part with my box set of Charmed. I love that friggin' show. And then we have Will Wheaton, who we know from Star Trek Next Generation. I did watch that show. It was interesting. I liked Patrick Stewart. He was the reason why I watched that show. He was great. And Stand By Me. And probably a bunch of other things that I just can't think of right now. But those are the ones that jump into my brain. So then we have our composer for the movie, Jerry Goldsmith, who we spoke about briefly when we did The Last Unicorn, because I was actually talking about Goblin, and I thought Goblin had done the music for Legend, but it wasn't Goblin, it was Jerry Goldsmith, although there is another version of that movie with a different sound. Anyways, but I did a little digging on Jerry Goldsmith, and outside of The Secret of NIMH, he has done the Omen franchises. Chinatown. I haven't seen that movie since I was probably 12 when I saw that movie. Oh my god, that movie was great. You want a gangster movie? Listen. Jack Nicholson was badass in that, as far as I recall. He did Alien, Basic Instinct. That movie has such a distinct sound to it. LA Confidential was another one. And, you know, just, I mean, his list is huge. He has done so much, but those are the ones where, in my opinion, the sound is very specific, like it's very stand-out-ish to the movies that they're in. Because usually I'm not really one for, oh my god, the score in that movie was great. But in a lot of these movies, Basic Instinct, I mean, you can't hear the music for Basic Instinct and not go, that's Basic Instinct, right? Just saying. Same thing with LA Confidential. It was really, really well done. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed everything about this movie. This was great. This was such a good time. I enjoy a movie that I can go digging around about after, you know? And I mean, a lot of the stuff that I found really has nothing to do with like the story of the movie or anything, but interesting things about the cast of characters and the composer. And I have no idea who the director is on this. I looked him up. Don Bluth? I don't know that name at all, but I guess he worked a lot with Don DeLuise, so yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. This movie, I recommend. Do check it out, as you should, without my commentary always, and I will put in the description where you can stream it. I highly recommend it. It is a very good movie. It is highly entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And if I missed any information that you want to share, please do. Please do. I would love to hear it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one.